Welcome to Madison City Channel's Know Your Candidate interviews, co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Dane County. I'm your interviewer, Shel Gross, and I would like to introduce Josh Walling, running for Alder in District 12. As we begin, I'd like you to give an opening statement about the educational, vocational, and civic experience you have, which qualifies you for this office, and why you are running for Alder.
All right. Well, my name's Josh Walling, and I have lived on the east side most of my life. I've owned a home right near Warner Park for the past 20 years. I have attended Malcolm Shabazz and East High Schools. I also attended La Follette, and after that I worked as a waiter in service industry, and then trained myself as a carpenter working for framing companies. I have also run a business and started a business right here on the east side, Capital City Construction. And that started from nothing and basically very, very little capital to a company that built large apartment buildings doing the framing carpentry work, and commercial buildings and many custom homes in and around Madison. Let's see. After my business, after I shut my business down in 2008, when the economy was slow and there was basically no more work to be done, I went back to school and was on the dean's list at MATC and the UW, taking classes in political science. Since then, I have been taking care of my family at home and taking off and basically working as a homemaker with 3 children on the east side in District 12. Let's see. Most recently, I've been working as a carpenter. So I have seen the district from many different points of view, and I have seen it change, and I don't want to see it change too much. I like it the way it is.
Thank you. What actions or programs would you support to enhance public safety in Madison? And in particular, what is your position on the use of body cameras by Madison police officers?
I wholeheartedly support the use of body cameras by Madison police officers. I think we're slow and behind the times on getting them. I do support a strong police force. I don't think we should defund the police and get rid of them, but I want them to be very accountable and for their actions. I want I mean, I could see possibly having non-police crisis workers respond to some events, and therefore there's a recording and someone else involved besides the police when these things are happening. I definitely would support bans on the assault rifles and high capacity magazines and whatever else it takes to keep these mass shootings down. I also think, as far as a lot of the school mass shootings, just a reduction in spending on the education itself, too many kids in the classroom, and the kids getting bullied and not feeling like their schools are safe, that we could make our schools, a place where kids feel safe and would never ever want to come and have an attack. And I bet if you look at school spending from about 1980 and put it on a graph and compared it to the amount of school shootings, they would go directly opposite each other. And that would be a faster way because it'd be hard to take all the guns off the streets. So those are things that I think would help the safety of our schools.
Thank you. What do you see as the most important environmental issues the city needs to address? What will be your priorities for the council action on these?
Okay, I want to, for one, preserve some more of our green spaces that are getting gobbled up by the large apartments and the development. I see the lakes as a very high priority for the city. I love our lakes and don't want to see them decline. Let's see. Reducing the amount of carbon that the carbon footprint of our city. I want our city to be green and have be a model of a green city for the world. I think that we would spare no expense at making our city green and sustainable.
What is your position on increasing the pay for alders?
I think that they should be. I can just see what kind of a job this is going to be, and it's not 15 hours a week, and it's work that should be rewarded in a way that any person can take the job, that you don't have to be independently wealthy to have that job. And if you want good outputs from the system, you gotta pay for the decision-making power to get those good outputs. So I think the alderman should probably be full-time and paid more.
Thank you. What, if anything, do you think the city should be doing to support economic development?
I think the city is putting a lot of effort into the growth. You can just see it around town, and they must be, I'd have to study and learn more about the situation, but they must be giving lots of tax incremental financing to these developers, and that's okay. I think that's all right, but I think that they should put more emphasis on helping people start smaller businesses and retaining the small businesses that we have and seeing that those businesses survive the development that's going on around them. Let's see. Could you refresh the question for me? Or did I answer it good enough for you?
You answered it.
Okay,
Thank you.
Let's go on.
How do you see racial disparities impacting constituents in your district? And are there any actions the city should take to address those?
Yes, I definitely see racial disparities. I live on a multicultural street. Although I own a home, there's apartments right next door. And so I see a lot of people of different races, but I'm sure that there's a lot of other people of different races that are living in houses also and doing well. So I would focus on egalitarianism and making economic inequality or decreasing economic inequality in general, and focus a little bit less on race. I would try to help people that are struggling, but due to the fact that they're struggling, and figure out ways to help them. And but to be clear, I am against racism. I like all people. I judge them on their face value as a person rather than their sex, their gender, their color. So I would definitely work with people that have that as their main interest to decrease racial disparities. And I generally support what they wanted to do with it. But yeah.
What are the most critical issues that you see facing the people in your district, and what would you propose to address these?
Well, I think that District 12, if you go to look, where is the rich neighborhood in District 12? There isn't one. There isn't one. There's medium, and then there's poor housing. So I would think that economic problems are one of the most pressing for people in our neighborhood. You can tell because the restaurants aren't full. They're not building lots of new restaurants in this area because the people simply don't have the money to go out and eat. I mean, that obviously some people do, but not enough to support a large restaurant growth in the area. So I would think making economic opportunities available to the residents of the district while trying to make the district and everything that we do sustainable from a green standpoint, from an economic standpoint, and not building so many apartments in the district that we like double the population. I think the people of the district appreciate the current population density and don't want a huge increase of it.
What would you like to say to the viewing audience as we complete this interview?
Well, I would just like to say that I'm a person that will work hard for the interests of the people and listen to what they tell me that their concerns are. I am a person that, again, has a respect for all people and want Madison to be a multicultural place that maintains that identity and makes all people feel like this is a place where they can be safe and have reasonable economic opportunity to have a decent standard of living. I'm a person that will care for the homeless and want to see that those problems addressed. And I want to support our local food pantries. I believe the river pantry out here, it not only makes sure the kids are fed, but it certainly reduces crime by making people not hungry. If people are hungry, they become desperate, and I could certainly see that increasing crime. This is something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to be a politician. I went to school because that's what because that's what I wanted to do. These opportunities don't come up much, and I'm proud and honored to have this opportunity to serve the District 12.
I want to thank Josh for speaking with us and the viewing audience for taking the time to know your candidates. I want to remind everyone that primary election day is Tuesday, February 21st, and the general election is Tuesday, April 4th. As with every election, please vote. On behalf of Madison City Channel and the League of Women Voters of Dane County, thank you for joining us.